I'm Dr. Carly,
I'm Dr. Hoot.
and this is Real Talk with Holistic Docs. Today we wanted to kind of switch it up a little bit. So we've been talking a lot about, hormones and exercise and stuff like that, but today we're going to talk about our success habits, and then we're also going to talk a little bit about our bad habits too.
Yeah, we are.
Because, honestly, life is about learning and course correcting, and we are by no means perfect. We've learned a lot. We've learned a lot, and we've done a lot of course correcting, and so we have some information to share.
Yep.
But at the same time, we still have bad habits that we're working on too. And we think
Yep.
that's really important for y'all to hear, because doctors are also imperfect human beings.
Yep.
And we are works in progress as well.
That's true.
So let's have Dr. Hoot tell us a little bit about her. Let's start with your success habits.
Okay, success habits. So I am definitely a creature of habit, and I think that's something that's helped me be successful. We did mention this once before. Your adrenals really like routine and habit, and I think that I've sort of created that for my adrenals, which is good because I've been under a lot of stress in my life. So some of the habits that I really enjoy for me personally is when I wake up in the morning, go to the bathroom, I splash cold water on my face, and that just freshens me up a little bit. And then I drink a bunch of water, hydrates me, and I think that's really important to start my day off with water. I try to go for a morning walk in New Jersey. It's not that applicable every day, but I try when it's available. This past week has been okay. And then either I will do some learning or do some exercise in the morning. And that's part of my routine too, is the blood flow and the exercise and getting my strength training in, like we talked about last time. That's something that is non-negotiable for me in my life. And that is one of the things I think that's made me really successful, is being really bought into strength training and owning that as part of my life, part of my lifestyle. And then, on that note, actually, I would like to say that when I don't exercise and don't get my energy out, I personally feel as though I suffer. So that is a really important part of my routine. Another thing would be that I value my health, I guess. My health is my number one value. So everything that I do in terms of success, I guess for me, revolves around that. I really do try and take care of myself as much as possible, because I have to give back to my patients and my community and my family whatever I have in me. So if I don't take care of myself first, that is a piece of success that has been lost on everybody else, especially myself. So that's something that I look forward to doing, is taking care of myself every day. And then I have to say, anybody who knows me well knows this. I have a physical, here, I have it right here, a planner, a book that I've had every single year since I started school. First grade, I'm talking about first grade. They gave us can I curse on this show? A fucking planner.
It's our show.
It's our show. We can do whatever you want. I can curse on the show. They gave us in first grade a planner so that, the teacher would write stuff down and our parents would see it and all that. And every single year of school until now, that's 12 plus 4 plus, that's like 20 years, right? Basically 20 years of my life, I've had a planner, because it's that helpful, and I write everything down in it. And if I didn't have this thing, I would be completely lost. I wouldn't know. I don't use my phone. I can't do it. I need to physically write it down and look at it. So that is a big part of my success. And you can see it. Here, I'll show you. I scratch things out.
I remember sitting next to you in med school and watching you work through this planner and just being so, see, it's funny because for me, I have it written down, but then I also have it in my phone, and then I also have it on a desk calendar too. So I have 3 calendars because I'm that just like, I had this thought the other day. I don't know. There are some people who still don't use calendars. Or like don't put appointments in their phone and don't put stuff like write it down. And I'm like, how does anything happen? I would literally be lost without mine.
I know.
Anyways. Anyways, so is that it for your success habits?
That's it for my success. You want to
Awesome.
talk about your success, or you want to talk about my bad habits?
Let's talk about my success habits.
Okay.
Mine are actually really similar.
Okay.
So I have my morning routine, and my morning routine really is what sets up my day to be what I want it or need it to be. So every single morning I wake up. Very first thing I do after I brush my teeth is I make my bed. And I think that is a really important routine to get into. I know it seems really simple and small, but it sets the stage for you just doing things that need to be done, right? So making your bed. Next thing I do is I go and drink a big old glass of warm lemon water, right? And then after that, I do some morning movement. So like you said, you go for a walk. I'll go for a walk. I'll do some yoga. I'll do some stretching. I'll do like Pilates, whatever. I just need to get up and like move because as we talked about in our exercise episode, that's how you get blood flowing. That's how you get lymph flowing. That's how you get everything moving and working again. And it's so important. So it doesn't really matter what you're doing, just as long as you're getting some in there. The next thing that I do is what I call, this is like my get your mind right part. So I don't know if any of you guys are familiar with Todd Durant. I know I've told you about him. His whole saying is get your mind right. And I think that that's the most important thing to do in the morning is to get your mind in the right place, the right frame of mind to basically take on the day. So for me, what I do is, we talked a little bit about the fact that I'm religious. So I read a morning devotional, and that helps me to really just like get centered on things other than myself. So I would say that's honestly one of my success habits is having my mind focused on things that aren't me, being other centered, and then also to give thanks, to express gratitude, to acknowledge the areas in my life where I have been blessed and have been given a lot. And then the other part of it is relinquishing some control as well. So saying like, you know what, I realize that I'm not in the driver's seat of everything here. I'm going to do my absolute best, but I also understand that sometimes things are out of my control, and becoming okay with that is fine too, So that I would say is one of my biggest success habits is getting my mind right and knowing that, and also this is a big one, not looking at my phone, not looking at my email, not watching any TV or news or anything like that until at least 10 a.m., honestly, because I've noticed that those are the most productive hours of my day. And if I pick up my phone and start looking at email, I won't get anything done during that time. And that means the whole rest of my day is thrown off. So as far as, my success habit, so that morning routine is a big one. The focus on getting my mind in the right place first thing in the day, I would say is huge as well. My focus on serving others. And then the other thing I would say is being extra cautious about at what and who I allow to influence me. So again, this comes back to the news and the social media and things like that. I specifically do not spend more than 15 minutes on Instagram a day. I time myself on it because I've noticed that if I don't do that, then I will spend like an hour on there and get dragged down by all the stuff. And so I literally, when I go on Instagram, I set a timer on my phone, and when it goes off, I turn it off.
Nice.
But that's what I do. The other thing that I do is actually I've used there's a setting that you can use on your phone that restricts your ability to use apps after a certain hour. So I turned that on. So between the hours of 8 p.m. and 8 a.m., I literally can't get onto any of my apps without going through a series of roadblocks. So some people I know don't really understand that, and they try to get a hold of me like, past 8 p.m. And I don't answer my phone. I don't answer text messages, none of that stuff after 8 p.m. because, I have to protect my sleep too at that point, right? Because a good night's sleep is an essential piece of that morning routine. And if I'm up late responding to all kinds of different things, responding and reacting to the worries of the world, I won't get the sleep and the rest that I need. So those are my big success habits. But the real fun stuff is to talk about the things that are bad habits.
Okay,
Go ahead.
Okay. So I really do have to take a lesson from you with the timing of the Instagram and such, because one of my bad habits is social media.
Mm-hmm.
Truly, it's
Mm-hmm.
so bad. And I think honestly it happened because I became glued to my phone with the long distance relationship that Dave and I were in for 5 years during medical school. So 5 years of constantly having my phone with me to communicate with him
Mm-hmm.
made me an addict to
Mm-hmm.
my phone. And so it's continued. It was better before COVID, but then when COVID happened and I wasn't able to do anything or go anywhere, I still can't, by the way, in New
Yeah.
Jersey, we can't do anything. The phone became like my outlet into being able to communicate with the world. So that's bad. And I'm still working on it. And I don't think it's going to be something that's going to go away very soon. And I think it really does. A big part of that is FOMO, of course.
Yeah.
Being stuck in a place that you don't want to be and seeing everybody else. And I mean, I know that there's a lot of fake shit that happens on social media. That's the whole point of social media, but it still creates that FOMO experience.
Yeah.
So I'm going to start doing that with the timer. I'll set myself like a 10-minute timer.
Yeah. It really does help. It really does help.
Yeah. I'm going to have to do that. And then the other thing, I guess it kind of goes along with the addiction to social media, is my shopping addiction. That is bad. Everybody who knows me also knows that.
Uh-huh.
The two kind of go hand in hand. You see something cool on social media and you're like, oh, I should look into that. I need to have this because of FOMO and what am I missing out on? So that actually has gotten better, I would say, with COVID. I don't know why.
Huh. That's funny. You'd almost think it'd be opposite.
You would almost think it would be opposite, but it's
well, I'm proud of you.
Yeah, thanks. I still shop way too much, but that's fine. I have a really great closet. So those are my two really bad habits. I don't know if I have any other ones. Do you? Can you?
I mean, honestly, when I think about you, the shopping thing was the first thing that came to my mind, because I know that that's something that you and I have actually talked about before. So like, I know she's going to talk about shopping.
Yeah. And I think I have to blame my mother for that.
Yeah, right.
Oh yeah. I mean, she's very fashionable and she took us shopping way too often when we were young. So that pattern got instilled, you feel bad, you go shopping, you feel good, you go shopping.
Mm-hmm.
No matter what.
It's so funny. Like, I had almost the exact opposite thing instilled in me, which was don't ever spend your money.
Right.
So for me, I would say, honestly, one of my bad habits is not ever spending money.
Right.
Not ever shopping. And that can be that other side of the coin is, there's spending too much money, like frivolously spending money, and then there's never spending money on yourself. Yeah. Like I last week I went to Banana Republic and treated myself to some new clothes, and I was so proud of myself because it was the first time that I can remember in recent history going shopping and not feeling bad about it.
Good.
I know, which was, it was a huge moment for me. It was a huge moment for me. It was big. My mom was even there, and I was like, Mom, I don't even feel bad about spending this money. And she was like, I'm so proud. So anyways, sorry, was that it for your bad habits?
That's it for my bad habits.
Okay. So, well, I guess then, leading into mine, the whole not ever taking care of yourself when it comes to giving yourself financial treats. I'm very good at doing all the health stuff, at eating right, at exercising, and all those types of things. I'm not very good at doing like the treat yourself type things, Yeah. Other bad habits that I have, email somehow is a huge weakness for me. I will check my email over and over and over again throughout the day. And here's the thing that's really bad about it is I check it and then I don't respond to the messages. But then I always have this thing in the back of my mind like, oh, I need to go back and respond to that later. And it just takes up all this brain space and stress and everything. So what I did actually recently, I deleted the email app from my phone. So I can't check email from my phone anymore. Cool. And then I also limited myself to only checking email like at 10 a.m. and then at 5 p.m.
Okay.
And the habit that I'm trying to work on is if I open an email, I do something about it instead of letting it sit there and leaving it for later.
Oh man, I didn't know that about you. You're one of those.
Yes. I'm one of those. I'm one of those. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And it's crazy. It's funny how much stress it causes.
Yeah.
It's like, cause it's like, oh gosh, I have to respond to this email later. No, just
Yeah.
look at it,
Yeah.
respond to it, be done with it.
Yeah.
I'm working on it.
Okay. I can be your accountability partner on that front.
Please do. I need it. And honestly, it's gotten worse over these last couple months with the COVID and everything. Like before, when I was, just in my office and seeing patients all the time, it wasn't that hard to only check it twice a day. But
Right.
now that I'm like in front of my computer so much more,
Yeah.
and like on Zoom calls and stuff like that, sometimes my mind just kind of wanders, and then I start like, oh, I wonder what's happening in my email inbox. Ridiculous. Anyway.
Yeah.
I would say my other really bad habit is that I really overschedule myself. I am definitely, I don't know if it's that I like don't want to say no, but it's that I get really excited about things in the moment and think that I can handle doing more running around than I can actually handle.
Okay.
And so I end up like, scheduling myself for all these things to do in a day. And then when I actually get to that day, I'm like, I'm exhausted.
Can't do
I don't
it.
want to do any of this.
Yeah.
And so learning what I can and can't handle, and learning what my boundaries need to be. And I actually think setting parameters too, like specific work hours. As you know, when you run your own practice, own your own business, you could very easily work literally from sun up to sundown every single day, because there's always something to do.
Yeah.
And as doctors, like we take stuff home with us all the time, because it's like, it's not like once we leave our office, we stop thinking about our patients. Like I am always thinking about my patients. And then the other thing is like, we're very passionate about what we do too. So we're always doing like continuing education and listening to podcasts and webinars and all these types of things. So it's just like, it never stops.
Yeah.
And you could constantly be doing it. But so I'm learning to actually utilize the fact that I like to schedule things and schedule in break time,
Nice.
time, like done for the day.
Yeah.
Because if I have it in my schedule, then I actually adhere to it, versus if it's just kind of like this loose open area at the end of my day, then I'm like, oh, well, I can put in a meeting there.
Right.
Yeah.
I can study. I can learn stuff.
Right. Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah, and that freaking reflects your sleep. I find when I do that too, by the way. Maybe not as bad as you. I'm very good at like letting stuff sit while I relax or watch a show or something. But when I get the urge to like think about a patient or do some prep or something, an hour and a half goes by and then it's bedtime, and I'm like, I'm not ready for bed. I just urge for
So funny. Yeah, it's wild. It's crazy, the things that we think that we're capable of that we're like not capable of.
Yeah, right. You need to relax.
I do need to relax.
You both need to relax. Nice. Is there anything else, any other bad habits you want to
Nope. That is sufficient for me.
Okay. This was a fun one.
It was a fun. We'll have to do another one like this sometime.
Yeah.
All right. Well, do you have anything else left to add?
No, that's it. This was
awesome.
Just a very true, real talk, I think.
Well, yeah, this was the realest of the real talks.
Yeah.
And if you have any questions for us about our good habits or our bad ones, or if you want to share any of yours with us, you can find me on Instagram at Dr. Carly Golightly, and you can find Dr. Hoot at
Holistic Dr. Hoot.
All right. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you next time.
Bye.